Hey everyone, it's Jeff Fisher of High School Football America, joined today by the NFL Play Football Youth Coach of the Week, representing the New England Patriots, Greg Pittman out of Hamden, Connecticut. Coach, thanks for taking the time with me today.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Appreciate the honor.
Well, it is a great honor, and congratulations on all you do for the young men there in the community in Connecticut. And I'm going to, before I get to the question of how does it feel, because I know the answer probably, we're going to ask you a couple of questions before that. And when I talked to you earlier this week, you mentioned that you didn't just, kind of seek out being a coach. You were there. I think your daughter is a cheerleader, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden, about 10 years later, you're winning a big award. How did it all happen?
yeah. Like I said, I signed my daughter up for cheerleading. One of my friends who actually got me into coaching was a coach at the time. So, like I said, I'm watching from the sideline. I saw something being taught wrong, so I gave my input, and I kind of walked off. So then, just I started hanging around more just due to the friendship. And then the more I saw, the more I was all right. Let me go ahead and give out some help. And then that's when I met Calvin, and Calvin told me the ways about going to become a coach. And like I said, once I got bit, the rest was history.
Calvin McGee, the president of the Pop Warner organization there in Hamden, Connecticut. And again, I don't want to steal your thunder because when we were talking the other day, you said that you had some pretty good foundations that you pass along to your players. And I'd love for you to talk to the people around the country watching this. What are the foundations? What do you believe in when it comes to teaching the kids beyond just the X's and O's?
Well, beyond just the X's and O's, it's like I said, what I learned from Calvin is, try to make professionals out of the young men.
Yeah.
Keep them courteous, keep them respectful. Listen, no matter what happens in the game, win or lose, be courteous, be respectful, and grateful for the opportunity to compete against the other team. Take your life lessons, take what you learn from them, and take what they learn from you, and just move on to the next game.
You
The
know,
hard
one of
work will pay off.
Yeah. One of the things Calvin told me about you that I wanted to bring out here because I was very impressed by this and a lot of youth coaches, right? We all have other jobs, right? So you got to kind of fit it all in, right? But one of the things that he told me that I was very impressed by was he said, Greg really goes beyond, coaching and the game and practice and all that. He said, I've even known him to go out and, if a kid doesn't show up for practice, he's not mad. He's going to go and do a wellness check to make sure they're okay. Tell me a little bit about your love for the youngsters there in your community.
Oh no, I most definitely love the kids, and like I said, when I grew up playing Pop Warner, that's something I learned from my coaches,
Hmm.
where they had to go. They may have had to go pick a child up for practice, bring them home after practice, maybe even buy them food because their financial status wasn't that great, and they had to take care of them beyond what's going on between the lines. A lot of people don't see the outer workings and the things behind the scene, but the influence that you do have on a child, it's a life lasting effect. Like I got coaches to this day, I still call them coach, even though I met them when I was 11 years old. They're always gonna be my coach.
I agree. There's always a lot of respect in the profession, and coach is a good way to honor someone that's doing that. As a matter of fact, when we were talking the other day, I asked you for a couple of the people that made an impact on you, and I'd love to give you this platform right now. Give a little shout out to them, give them some props on the person that they helped make you to win this Youth Coach of the Year, Coach of the Week award.
Yeah, no, I started off with my first coach in Pop Warner was Jack Sirocco, Bud Brooks, Coach Barry Heiss. Then I got moved on to Coach Brack Portier, Leonard Jihad, Dominic Rapini, Steve Cannon. A lot of different people played a part in me being who I am. And then even like I say, even with Calvin today, a lot of conversations we have, and like he tell like basically trying to make professionals out of myself and the young men so they are able to go to the next level. Because that's what I had to learn when I was in high school, how to become a citizen. I didn't even understand what a citizen was, but I understood now about the professionalism and everything that everybody's always watching, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, we're proud to have you as this week's honoree from the Patriots. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was the fact that you said that along the way these people have helped you. You just mentioned it and all that. How much of what you learned when you were a youth from those people that you just mentioned there? Do you find yourself sometimes thinking, that sounds like Coach so and so. That sounds like Coach Cohen so and so. Do you lean back on those guys and all that expertise they gave you when you were a young man?
Oh yes, I still got a line of a few of the coaches that I still talk to. They tell me like they always give me their blessings, tell me how proud they are. Because I was one of those. Listen, you got to keep your eye on me. Able to play the game, but you got to keep your eye on me. So now I know what to look for. I know how to keep a kid's attention and how to keep them engaged in the game. Because I was one of them kids that needed a little extra help to stay
Yeah.
focused on what's going on in front of me.
Yeah. I know one of the things you coach your son and Calvin McGee said to me, he said, his son's pretty darn good. But one of the things that amazes me about Greg is the fact that coach doesn't show favoritism there. Tell me a
No,
little bit about coaching your son. What's that like? How hard was it for you to make the adjustment back and forth between dad and coach?
oh no. See, when I'm on the field, dad doesn't exist. I don't exist at all. I'm coach. I stay. I learned one thing I did learn from the guy that got me into coaching, Brian Wesley, is he coached both his sons at the same time. But then I told him, let me deal with your sons. Let me deal with them, and you deal with them off the field. So like me and him, we learned that together. So now when it became my turn to coach my son, I don't even deal with my son on the field except on the coaching level. But that truck ride home, whatever I see or didn't see, that's our time. So it's really not that hard to differentiate the two.
Yeah. We talked at the top, how you got involved in the coaching way. It just kind of happened, right? But what
Yeah.
about some of the people in your community there? I think that Calvin said you've done a really nice job of recruiting some of the younger people out there to get them involved in coaching. If someone's watching this and is thinking about getting into the profession at the youth level, what would you say to them? Like, what are the rewards that they should know, and what are some of the things they should expect coming into the sport?
Oh no, it's coming in. You got to understand, it's never going to be easy. You have to be willing to give up your like some time, a lot of time, sacrifice. Sometimes you may be out there, whether you're sick, you're injured, you still out there coaching the kids. And fundamentals, fundamentals. Never forget the fundamentals. You teach those and just imprint them every day, repetition, repetition, repetition. Fundamentals will get you a long way in discipline. That'll take you everywhere you need to go. So when them other teams start breaking down in the end, second half, a lot of teams lose it in the second half. It's being able to close out the game is like one of the best feelings in the world.
Yeah, there's some real nuggets in there, folks, of what Coach Pittman just mentioned. Going down toward the end here, a couple of more questions for you. First one is you've had some success too. We haven't talked about that. You won a championship there. I've read in the resume, and Coach McGee was telling me a little bit about that. What's it like to win some championships? Tell the people around the country what your team's been able to accomplish in this last couple of years.
Well, yeah, this will be our fifth year here. So out of those 5 years, this one is still in process, but we've been in the championship game 4 straight years. My first one, it didn't work out the way it was a life lesson on that one, where I couldn't close out the game. So I had to go back to I had to go back to the drawing board, came back and we won the championship the next year. The first one, like I said, that was the most meaningful to me though. The loss.
Yeah.
We lost to the Hartford Hurricanes. With the Hamden Hurricanes. So it was just we beat them all season, and then they stole the one that we wanted. And I was like, what could I have done differently? So I went back to the drawing board, and here we go. The next year, 6U championship. Then now last year, we won the 8U championship, and then all the way up to the regional championship with that's 2 undefeated seasons at that.
Very, very good. Congratulations on that. Now we get to the kind of why you're here, which is winning the award. What does it mean to you? And how surprised were you that you're getting this honor from NFL Play Football and the Patriots?
Now I was very shocked. Little old me, nobody who's paying me any attention. Like I said, I'm just out there. I'm not out there for any accolades or any recognition. I just want to be out there making sure the kids learn the game the right way.
Mhm.
So to hear I got nominated and then actually win, that was a blessing in itself. When I told my son, he was I think he was more happy than I was.
I, I love it. And folks, before we rolled the tape here to talk to Coach Pittman, I was asking him if he was excited to go to this week's game. Part of the honor is he gets to go to the Patriots and Steelers. And he said, Jeff, can't make it. Tell him why, Coach.
We got a big game this on Sunday 9 o'clock against the Waterbury Patriots. So I told my team I wouldn't miss the game for that. So if we could figure something out, we can make that happen that way.
So you'll be going to a game in the future. That's really great. Well, Coach, congratulations on winning the award. Thank you for all you do for the youth there in Connecticut and continued success. Maybe three in a row, three in a row. What do you think?
But yeah, I'm trying. I'm most definitely trying to get to Charlotte this year for the national championship.
There you go. All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you.